wonderful. On wonderful, no less. 3 Tech 9s and the Desert Eagle. There you hit.
They're missing basic mollies.
Break, spot, long range, MP9. Oh, careful, careful.
Oh!
Zontix will take them both. Swings through, catches JL on the mantle. Jumping up on box.
Spirit can do no wrong.
Na'Vi can do no right. This might be one of the quickest games we've seen here at the elimination stage. This is already over. 12 to 2. Where's 9 coming from? 12 to 2.
From the dreams of Na'Vi fans, I'm sure.
My God.
And just as those fluke conversations were feeling quelled, we're starting to quiet.
They were.
You go, what happened? Na'Vi, where are you?
Tactical pause.
What do you, look.
Take them both.
What are you going to buy?
Take them both.
Yeah, back to, I suppose, just to, so you can spend a little bit more time on the stage for the day.
Yeah, I mean, how quick has this been? It feels like it's been rapid. Head in hands. Round 15.
Oh, this is grim. They have had blowout scorelines between each other in the past, so this isn't necessarily something new, but previously the biggest was 13-4. We're about to break new ground.
Unless you can do it with, what the hell is this?
It's going to MP5. I guess nothing else is working, Alex. Why not?
Why not roleplay?
Hey, get the revolver attached. Give that one a go as well, will you, Chief?
Copenhagen souvenir.
At least it was quick.
It's reminding him of better times.
Two-time major win a bit. Lost right now. 2 kills for him and Wonderful.
A little bit of a timing caught. JL just got across and Chopper none the wiser. Shearer. Chopper gets him on his attempt. Oh, it's all over. Red Rover. This is destruction. This is Team Spirit back on their feet, stabilizing. After a wavering performance versus Furia, they put Na'Vi down in just 15 rounds of play. I don't know what to make of that. Maybe our analysts can give us some insight.
Machine, I don't know if I can give you insights. I need someone maybe in this arena just to check in one of those booths. Maybe under a desk. Hell, maybe even in the server. Where was Na'Vi? No,
somewhere.
Where is Na'Vi? Where were they? They didn't pitch up. They didn't show up. They didn't perform.
That was downright embarrassing, despicable, diabolically bad. The individuals from Na'Vi simply were not even in China today. It's like they're playing from home with 300 ping. The amount of misses, the amount of missed shots, we were talking about it in the pregame, how Na'Vi, yeah, they have no star players. Well, they sure would have wanted one today, Dust.
Indeed, they did. They needed somebody, and unfortunately, they just weren't getting a whole lot of it. But to kind of pivot the conversation just a little bit over to what Spirit did successfully, this is a team that looked shaky throughout the RMR, a team that, obviously had the upset loss against Fury yesterday on Dust 2, and so there was a lot of doom and gloom around the Spirit squad. And so being able to come out and make a bold statement like this against Na'Vi is something that can create a spark, can try to, course correct the team going into this. And the biggest thing that I want to say about this T side, while you could simply just say, yeah, they owned them, was that Spirit was a lot more controlled on this T side. This is a squad that doesn't default a lot. They like to just open up with like a heavy emphasis somewhere. They like to move pretty quickly. But you can see on this map, they were more willing to kind of just slow things down and just play together methodically. I think the biggest thing for me is that even on rounds where they were not the ones getting the opening pick, they always had the instant trade. Their spacing was just so damn good. They had so many traps set, so many, trading potential moments that went their way, and they just bulldozed Na'Vi with just that sheer number and that trading efficiency.
Na'Vi is now 1 best of 3 away from going home. I mean, that's where they're sitting. They are the major winners. They are our current champions, and they have not pitched up. That is a lot of pressure for Blade and the boys now.
There was an excuse for the MIBR game. MIBR also had a good game plan. There was an incredible amount of flash assists from the MIBR side in order to defeat Na'Vi in a very close game. But this is one where, despite the fact that Spirit actually did change their game plan, they did look like a different version of themselves in this one. The lack of individual prowess from the Na'Vi players was simply not acceptable for 5 guys that are getting paid tier 1 salaries. Like, they actually just weren't shooting back in these
You got styled on by Chopper. That's all you got to say, bro. That's it. That sums it up.
If you're getting styled on by Chopper, you need to be shooting him better. Like, I can't put it in any simpler terms than the fact that, like, they were in situations at times to get kills, and then they didn't hit it. Like, there were actually moments where they were going for pushes, they were making some individual plays, they were sometimes even in a good defensive position. Like, JL was in a position one time holding a smoke. What does he do? He nades the smoke but isn't ready for someone to be behind it. Like, what's going on there? Like, that sort of stuff is inexcusable. I'm not gonna, this was a well called and well played game by Spirit, and one that does give me more hope for them when they're going to move forward in this tournament. But for Na'Vi, on the other hand, like, guys, wake up.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like this. When I watched Spirit play Mirage earlier this tournament and they were playing rounds a little bit more slow, they looked timid and they looked indecisive. This time, playing a slower game, they looked on point. They were ready to trade. They had intention every single time. That's what I really like. But kind of going back to your point about Na'Vi, it's scary, right? It's 1 and 2. Here's my big problem with Na'Vi right now. There are now major vulnerabilities in their map pool going into this best of 3 that they're about to play, whoever it may be. They are now 2 and 5 in their last 7 games of Mirage. They used to be the masters of this map. And they're also horrible on Nuke lately as well. Like, you can't cover both of those anymore. So what's going to happen now when you have to play an elite level team in a best of 3 and one of those 2 maps may come through and you can't even rely on them anymore when that used to be your hometown? Like, this is a real problem.
To wrap up the Na'Vi conversation really quickly, I mean, yes, Spirit played well, but Spirit played at a level that we've seen Na'Vi beat other teams at. So for me, we're dumpstering really hard on them, but with due reason.
Also, I will say that they allow themselves in certain situations to get executed on, to get pinched on. Usually I see a little bit more proactivity from Na'Vi, sometimes just getting bunched up onto a bomb site, corralled almost, and then immediately slaughtered thereafter.
Yeah. I'm just flabbergasted because, you know, Na'Vi should not be losing in this fashion, but now I've seen it happen against Astralis. I saw it happen against Furia. I thought the Blast World Finals were maybe just an anomaly. They had made 6 finals in a row before that. I was like, hey, let's just write that one off. It's a tournament before the major. Maybe, you know, I think it was what Blake came out with that little cheeky interview, like maybe we need to lose. Yeah. Obviously, he didn't mean it, but you know what I mean. So I tried to write it, but now I can't because now I'm seeing these same issues transpire in Shanghai.
Wow. Let's talk about Spirits and what they did right, Maui.
Well, they changed up their game plan. So frequently in the past, when Spirit were hitting brick walls, for example, at IM Cologne, it was off of really just sending Donk to his death. Yeah. They were frequently just sending him out top middle. They were sending him out towards underpass. And there were actually moments in this game where that happened, where Donk actually ran through an underpass smoke. But regardless of that, Spirit were able to capitalize on the space and info that he's providing them with good trades. And so even if Donk didn't have a pop-off moment in this game, even if Spirit lost the opening pick, they were able to just slow things down. In this round right here on round number 11, they actually slotted Donk top mid very early in the round, and then Chopper made a little bit of pressure towards B, and then 3 guys come out A ramp. It's more layering right now. They're actually going for multiple stages in a round, whereas before, there was really only a single stage for Spirit in rounds, and it was Donk go kill.
Here's the thing about this too, is that Donk forces your attention. He commands your respect. And because they use Donk in such a mobile way on the T side, anytime you see Donk's name on the kill feed, you're like, oh, that's an area of focus that we must now respect and pay attention to. But the other thing that we've always mentioned is where's the supporting cast for this team? You know, they're so reliant on Donk. But in this game, Donk was able to draw attention, as you were kind of noting, not necessarily need to get a multi-frag or need to have a pop-off moment, but just command a team's respect. And his supporting cast was taking care of business on the other end of the map where they needed to be. And maybe in a way that's probably not going to be reproducible. Like Chopper's not going to have a game like that again, probably. But not. The fact that Zontix has been doing it all RMR long, and he's been doing it a couple of times in the major, that is inspiring to me.
The way to use Donk now that Chopper has seemingly realized and unlocked, this whole take some space but don't keep sending Donk forward at that point. Like actually giving him a halt command and saying, you're just gonna patrol this area now that we have uncomfortable map control for our opponents. Like Dust said, it just commands respect from them. Like now Na'Vi are just constantly like, wait, Donk, he's over there. Donk's over there, guys. Like we gotta like focus on this, because that's how they used to play for the first 6 or 7 months of this year. Every single play was drawn up to be Donk and then just an assembly of people behind him trying to support him with their bodies, throwing utility for him. This time around, they just put him top mid, and Na'Vi were just flat. They were unsure of what was coming next in the round. So I will say, I think Spirit did elevate their playbook at least a little bit here.
You know what else I've noticed too is that they're slotting him second, third a little more often. I don't know if you're picking up on this as well. And I think this is allowing him to like flex his aim even more, because now he gets to work with information and not just be drawing first fire. And that's where you really kind of want your star rifler to be at the end of the day.
Spirit versus Na'Vi. We were expecting a much longer game, but Spirit dismantled the current major champs really damn fast. We have G2 up against 3D Max in a little bit.
She said she loves you.
But she can't love me.
But I love you.
I won't play window anymore.
What's going on?
Play your role. 1x bet.
concurrent streams running, 2 best of 1s, 2 best of 3s, 2 teams going home, and 2 teams going through to the playoffs of the Perfect World Shanghai Major. That is what is up for grabs today. We've already seen 2 Ws, Team Spirit and Team Liquid, both taking a win, and now we'll find out who will join them. Will it be 3D Max or G2, which is the next best of 1 happening right here on the A stream? Let's dive straight into this with G2. How did they find themselves here?
Well, they were obviously surprised by the Mongols playing with the ferocity that they did in their opening matchup. G2 kind of couldn't hold up tactically in the mid-late round of that game. Very frequently, it felt like the Mongols players just played more confidently. But on top of that, G2, they had these moments, Dust, where I don't know about you, but I feel like there were a lot of ill-advised movements from the G2 players, sometimes playing outside of themselves, jumping through smokes, just kind of forcing the issue before they really even necessarily needed to.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I think we can even expand that discussion past just the micro of this, first couple of days of this elimination stage and really widen it into what we've really kind of seen from them lately. These are your back-to-back like Blast World Finals and the Blast Fall Final champions, but sandwiched in between that was a dead last finish at Rio.
Yeah.
Then, of course, during the RMR, they had an upset loss to 3D Max, and it's like they are a team that simultaneously can be the best in the world because of their raw talent, but then they can also just kind of fall apart in games that you just don't anticipate them doing because of how much talent they have. And it's something that you always have to kind of keep your eye on. They are such a wild card because they could win this whole damn major, but they also could not make playoffs. It's like legitimately those 2 things could happen.
Yeah.
Are we surprised that they're not going to be one of the teams in contention for the 3-0?
Personally, no. Just
Same.
because of that exact thing. Like, G2, despite the raw firepower that they have on the roster, the game planning is probably, of the top 6 teams, in the bottom half of those teams. Usually you would consider teams like Na'Vi and Maus to have much better and well-rounded game plans. Vitality, of course, too.
Yep.
And so could have seen them losing to any of those teams. To lose to the Mongols, I'd say that's a step beneath what they're usually capable of in terms of regular caliber.
Yeah, that's fair. But in the best of 1 situation, we know things can happen. But what we also know can happen with G2 is that if you get that death ball of Maus, Munacy, and niku rolling, they are almost unstoppable. It allows G2 to play a much more simplistic, aggressive play style and get away with it because of just how much raw firepower they have. Maus goes in first. If he loses his fight, niku should probably win his. And if he somehow fails, then Munacy usually is able to clean up. Obviously, Munacy, #1 player in the world, not only as one of the best hoppers in the world, but also a damn good rifler.
He's your #1?
He is, 100%. For right now. We'll see what happens at the end of the major, but yeah, he's definitely my #1 for right now.
When you talk about the lack of game planning, I mean, Dust, whose feet does that fall at?
Snacks and Taz, I suppose. I don't really know where else you want me to go with that one.
I was setting it up. I threw the ball. I took the bat. I hit it after.
That was more like T-ball. You kind of just sat it down for me. You didn't even really make me work for it. But no, I think that is part of it, is just that I don't think that they are strategically the most sound tacticians in Counter-Strike by any stretch of the imagination. I think the one thing that Snacks can sometimes do is find like little clever timings and lurks and things that they share on an occasional basis. And at times I see this team like call a pretty decent game plan. The issue is they've also seen games where they'll just run their head into a brick wall. They'll literally run the same execute like 5 rounds in a row, see that it doesn't work, and then say, well, I do have niku and Munacy and Maus, so surely eventually it'll work.
I see this too. And
it's like, what are you doing?
I see them call the same exec 3 times in a row, and then I see people say, wow, that was good tactics from G2. I'm like, what? Like, anybody could do that. Like, any single person on this planet Earth could say run the same exec 3 times in a row.
Could Hooksy do it?
He could do it better. He would do it better. He would do little mix-ups.
I had to.
He does little mix-ups with those kinds of things. Yeah, no. I mean, G2, I mean, for all of the faults that we have, though, with them, I mean, the firepower on this team is unbelievable. I agree with Dust. I think Munacy today is the best player in the world. Whether that results in actually an HLTV top 20 #1, that's actually, we'll have to wait for the results of the major to really see that. But beyond that, niku, top 3 rifler in the world. Malbs, in the second half of the year, he's been a top 10 rifler in the world. Already, you're so stacked with so much firepower that Pekka has gotten really away with murder here. Like, he put in an underqualified Taz. He put on a Snacks who didn't even qualify for the last major, if we're being honest. Like, 9Pandas did qualify over them. But at the same time, he has so many strong pieces now that we all have to just beg for forgiveness just because they've won a couple of blast titles.
Here's the crazy thing. When you have two aggressive riflers in Nico and Malbs, who both take nearly 30% of the team's opening duels, and they're both like over 55% success rates, it's kind of hard to lose.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to lose when they're able to do that. You know what I mean? But they do still sometimes find ways to do it. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
And that's the problem, right? You mentioned that like they could either win or they could blow out here in these stages as G2 comes onto your screen. But that's the issue. When you're relying just on their pure raw firepower and you don't have anything else to back it up, you take a huge gamble coming into these big events.
And that's really how you live and die by G2. That's why you see them crumble in crazy ways in sometimes the biggest games, why they've consistently been outclassed by Na'Vi. Of course, they've gotten the better of them at this point. It's been so many matchups. But all in all, I'm usually going to take over the course of a season the team that has the still strong players, like the A-tier players, maybe no S-tier players in a team like Na'Vi, but because I'm going to rely on tactics, a good foundation. Astralis' empire and era wasn't built on having the best player in the world. It was built on having 5 guys who are all top 5 in role, but all have a unified vision.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really fair point to make. And as G2 comes into this, we also think about the bigger picture. This is probably the last dance for them, right? I mean, we already know about all the rumors and reports out there about players going in different directions. But this is another situation where Nico finds himself in a position with how strong G2 have been lately that he could finally get his major. That is a title that eluded to him in CSGO. All those majors, you know, we think about E-League Boss losing to Cloud9 in the finals. We talk about, you know, the other finals he lost, that magical Deagle moment where he missed a shot at Top Hut and then, you know, it all comes crumbling down. Like, we know those moments where he came so close to a major. This is another really big chance for him to win a major. Like, with Na'Vi looking out of sorts, with, you know, some of the other pieces that are kind of, you know, playing out, they could make this happen in Shanghai as like kind of a, you know, salute to the end of the year. But they're going to have to kind of get their acts together and make sure they don't lose to any underdogs.
We now take a look at 3D Max on your screen. I mean, could we call them the underdog dust?
We could, but they did beat G2 in the RMR. They've actually traded best threes against each other recently between EPL and the RMR. And, you know, honestly, we haven't got to talk about 3D Max to death very much. Like, their games just haven't popped up for us. But this is a team that kind of is the epitome of making the most out of what you got. Because while they don't really have any superstar players, Maka and Lucky have been pretty solid for their roles. I think Gravity is like a young entry rifler, while his overall numbers don't necessarily jump off the page. His entry ability is actually at a level that gives you opportunities. And they have at times shown that they can beat some pretty solid teams. So, I mean, they are, for the only, you know, full French team here, in a world where most French teams have gone international, this has been an okay team for me. Like, I like them.
I mean, it's been years since we had a French core. The last French-speaking lineup was the Vitality lineup with Shocks. So that's how really long it's been since we've had anything like this. And credit to 3D Max. I mean, I think that the structure that they have is really why they're able sometimes to take down the bigger scalps. You know, at the Sky Esports event in the grand finals, they were able to take down the Mongols there, a team we're considering now playoff favorites. Of course, in the RMR, also taking down G2. I gotta bring up one thing. Like, when they are clicking, when 3D Max is playing at their absolute best, they are making their lives so much easier. The flash assists between Exercise and between Maka, assisting some of the other players on the team, it is why they can take down a team like G2. Because if you take a fair gunfight between Gravity and Mobs, I'm sorry, Mobs is winning that one 8 out of 10 times. But when you throw in a flash into the mix, a well-timed one, a good pop flash, which is what the bread and butter of 3D Max is about to me, they can look like one of the best flash assist teams in the world. In the game against G2 that they played before across the entire BO3, every other round, they were getting a flash assist. Like, that's way more than the best teams in the world, who usually rely so much more around playing around smokes, getting trades, just bursting into a bomb site together. So when their tactics are clicking, they are an upset team.
In Counter-Strike reality, though, upset team, but not a team we see making the playoffs.
No, I didn't have him slide to make my playoffs. I had him kind of on the bubble with Heroic. Ultimately, I decided to go the route of Liquid and Mongols for kind of my last couple of slots. But again, they are a team that has impressed me. Like, they seem to kind of sit like right around the edge of the top 15 as we're about to go into the veto here, it appears. It'll be interesting to see where this heads, because obviously we shouldn't see Mirage and we shouldn't see Vertigo based on the permabans of these teams, but it could go Ancient, it could go a couple of different directions.
I thought Ancient personally for this one. I guess we'll see how it ends up on this, and if anyone wants to flip the script, I think it... Oh, yeah, okay, we got it.
So, Maui, why did you think it would be Ancients?
It's just been let through as a deciding map for both of these teams in other BO1s that they played. And thus, actually, could you remind me, in the BO3 that they played against each other, was it, I don't think it was the deciding map.
It was.
Oh, it was the deciding map, okay.
Yeah, at EPL, it was the map that G2 beat them on in the third map of that series. I actually don't quite remember the best of 3 from the RMR off the top of my head.
The RMR was, okay, I wasn't
yeah,
sure there.
So,
yeah.
it was. Yeah, they actually lost Ancient. So they traded deciding maps of Ancient against each other between those two best of 3s.
Gotcha.
So 1-1, I guess, in that regard. But kind of going into Ancient, I mean, the overall records of these teams aren't that impressive, especially when you consider that G2 have lost like their last 4 out of 6 games on Ancient. So nothing's going to jump off the page statistically speaking, but if we're just talking about how these teams play Ancient, I love how 3D Max plays Ancient. They are a team that is so good at fighting for mid control on their T side. They will not give it up. They will fight for it tooth and nail. They have, this 1-3-1 setup they love to go for. And I think that's going to be the key here. Like, if G2 can stuff that mid control, that ruins a lot of 3D Max's game plan. A lot of it hinges on whether they're able to do that or not.
Again, just pay attention to the flashes on it. The amount of times that you're just going to see Exercise and Maka just bombing flashes, bang, 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 bang. Sometimes I think both of them are even in spawn, just tossing flashes for the entry fraggers to try to take that sort of space. And so, actually, I think G2, if they really look back at that, I think they can game plan around it. Extremities are a little bit more vulnerable when you have so many guys throwing so much support utility. And if G2 at any point in time says, okay, we can't win this mid fight with the barrage of flashes that are coming over, just push A main, just push B main. Like, there's other things to do other than throwing your head into a wall, but that's the problem with G2. The lack of adaptation at times halfway through a 12-round span is what has cost them so dearly in games where they are supposed to be the favorites but come up short.
This is what I was going to say to you, because you mentioned that their biggest fault at the moment is the fact that they have a lack of game planning, and then you say, well, they could win this if they game plan. That's going to be the Achilles heel for G2?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, here's the thing about G2 is they're able to spread their talent so well on this map, right? I mean, we know how Mouths can be an absolute terror at middle position on both sides of the map. We know Nico is such a great B controller, but also can flex into aggressive lurking positions, entry positions, you name it. He's like a Swiss Army knife. This is one of the maps as well where m0NESY has no fear putting the op away, grabbing an AK on T side, and just being a part of the entry pack. So I do think it'll sometimes just come down to the sheer trading, but I do think that G2 will have to figure out how to deal with the mid control that 3D Max is so good at doing on their T side, but they also just have really good set pieces you have to deal with as well.
3D Max up against G2. It's about to go down. Sponge and Machine are ready to take us into game.
Ready for this one. CT start for G2. 3D Max on the attack and revenge on the menu for G2. I'm intrigued to see what form we get from m0NESY. Enjoy watching him when he's at his very best. And also 3D Max, I love some of the aggressive maneuvers we'll be seeing in the second half of play. And of course, aggression compulsory on their attack. They're starting mid, Chad.
With aggression.
And Hunter, ooh, he's going to need some support. Does get turned and spotted. Gravity charging through Red Room. They've lost Lucky in the meantime. Snacks is hearing all this, and Gravity, whoa! Whoa! Just delete Snacks. m0NESY spotted out, takes down Maka. Jocko's so quick on this. He's already fighting him. Oh, it's a bit scary now he's missed his shots. Nico, m0NESY, Hunter, and they're fighting their way back into this B site. 3 versus 3. Ouch! Oh, damn. They shoot hard to 3D Max, and Jocko, he's demonstrated it with 2. Could have been the third. Hunter denies the 1 versus 3, now 2. They're going to double swing him. Gravity and X. Sheesh, Gravity. 2 block kills, what felt like drive-bys, just flatlines G2.
Well, we get a demonstration of 3D Max's aggression now on the pistol round, which is great to see. Out the guts of middle, up through the red smoke, splitting B, not giving G2 a moment to catch their breath. And we will see a technical timeout called off the back of that, and it is, in case you were worried, for 3D Max. So they're the ones who are suffering this little issue. Just a microphone one, as we'll get that sorted ASAP.
And he died instantly, so, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess maybe he couldn't calm what he...
I'm dead.
Somebody shot me.
He got me.
He got me real good.
Look,
I don't know if everybody heard the crowd there. G2 obviously one of the fan favorites. Definitely in this match, the fan favorite. And as there is no Chinese representation, I would say that they are at the top of the charts down there in Shanghai. Now, we discussed revenge. The desk also brought it up. This was the third and deciding match in the RMR. That was how 3D Max were able to go 3-0. They lost to Nubis, which is their home turf. G2 must have at that point thought, oh yeah, we should be able to get this one done really easy. You go on to Dust 2. That's all right. We've got Ancient waiting in the wings in case. And 3D Max took it to them. So the
Yeah.
French putting themselves as a 5-man roster back on the major stage. It's a great sign.
I will say that there's no way. I don't know if I'm doing
Oh,
some voodoo here.
dear.
There is no way Lucky's dropping 29 and 14 again. You know, like that's a life game if ever I saw it.
It was against his old organization, old organization. What was it, 2019, the last time we saw him with G2 at a major.
1.95
Yeah, he
rating.
had to go Super Saiyan, didn't he?
Yeah, which is, you know, cool.
Especially if you know how to replicate it.
I don't know if anyone can. I mean, you know, I'm sure he's not going to have a bad game. He is one of the stronger individuals on this 3D Max roster.
Yeah, you touched on him yesterday during the MIBR match that we covered, and they started quite slow, but it was his saved AK-47,
That's
Alex.
right, Shaddy.
But
That's
then
right.
in the next map that they played there, where they got the victory on Dust 2, Maka and Lucky had a much better best of one. So it does ring true, but this is the thing, right? In terms of Counter-Strike and matches, you know, what site are teams hitting? Are you always rotating into action? Are you entry fragging in a lot of these scenarios? So there's a lot of things to take into mind as opposed to just the statistics.
Yeah, yeah. And in that last Ancient as well, G2 had the clutch advantage. They won 2 to the
Just not the opening
3D
kills,
Max.
right?
No.
Yeah,
no.
that was quite stark as far as I remember.
Yeah, 15 3D Max to 9 of G2.
Well, G2 got one on the pistol. So we'll keep count. We'll see what type of an impact it has. Modesty, I believe, did an interview. I could be dreaming because...
You dream about Counter-Strike interviews these days?
or I have just been sleeping so much lately that I can't tell the difference between what is my dream and reality. But from that interview, yeah, he did do an interview with HLTV. There was a comment about him not being happy with the form that he showed during the RMR. That was the worst that Monasty's looked, and that he'd been putting in like 10 hours a day. I think he described himself as a room flower.
A room flower.
A room flower.
Yeah, so you wake up, boot CS, turn off your PC, go to bed.
Yeah, do flowers do the osmosis thing?
Like a wallflower, but a room flower.
Yeah, but is he getting...
Oh yeah, osmosis is involved.
Yeah, so from Counter-Strike is how he grows.
I think so.
Okay. I just wanted to get that clarified.
Yes,
It did
yeah.
seem quite
I
technical.
like this idea.
Breaking a flash.
Yeah, it's a cool... it's not going to do anything.
No.
Cool idea, though.
No, and G2 were one of the teams who used to love these little moves. Back when you had the Hooksy JKS roster, there would be like flashes from A as they all run out donut and challenge mid on the eco round. So just trying to add a different spin to it. But right now, just 3 players staying alive. They should be farmed and mopped up in a moment's time. And if you haven't kept up with today's action, the B-Stream game Furia versus Liquid, and we had a shocking result with Spirit versus Na'Vi. If you want to tune in as well to that secondary stream, you have Harry and Hugo bringing you the action of Mouse versus FaZe. It's Lil Bro versus Big Bro, or
Yeah?
Unk versus...
Cuz?
Is that what they're calling them?
I don't know, mate.
A bunch of Unks on that FaZe roster, that's all I'm saying. As,
Yeah, I've been carrying him, though.
yeah, he has.
Well, I like that they're being risk averse. I also the one caveat is that Gravity should be let off the leash. Maybe he is going to take the path to get some Mac 10 frags.
What type of leash do you think it is? Do you think it's that one on the retractable
Yes,
cord, or
yeah,
is
like
it
the-
a weird if you only tuned in without the leash
I
and
think
dog
they might have.
reference?
I think there is at least one person who's just
Just turned on the stream for
raised
that
an eyebrow,
moment.
like, what is this guy doing?
Sorry, everybody, it's early or late.
Hey, look, G2 are G2 fans. You know, Na'Vi, they're repping other teams.
Maybe they need to
They're
become
out.
Na'Vi fans, because at the moment they might be running out the bloody door.
Yeah, bloody hell.
All right, let's get stuck in, shall we? Snacks with the famous diffuse kits. I don't see any. What type of a start did G2 opt for? Not a heavy mid posture.
Red smoke. Molly jump up. Break and go. Gravity test Nico. Ooh, Jocko with the Broly Molly. Takes down Nico after Gravity softened him up. That's Brolan. I realise that sounds a bit silly.
Well, Broly is a Dragon Ball Z character, but we'll return to that because we find ourselves in a 4v4. 2 towards B, G2 with Hunter and Donut, and Malbs locking down A. Now, we will note that Malbs has self-reported as being a little bit under the weather. We'll keep eyes on him and how that may impact his performance. Maybe not at all. Hit the brakes are 3D Max, starting to pivot back towards the A site with the bomb. Late pieces to activate of Lucky through elbow, and as Jocko clears out Cave, stage 1, that smoke will confirm his suspicions. Stacking over towards the B site, G2 taking a gamble, so Hunter, oh, that presence will let him know something is knocking. Maka, the in-game leader, back and forth. No decision to be made. 45 seconds. 3D Max have to find a finish.
Yeah, that A main smoke's got exercise calling for backup. They're going to path through Donut. This is the path of least resistance.
Now, this has worked out quite perfectly, hasn't it? Hunter has an incendiary, but might just have to use it to stall. That'll buy a few seconds.
Good
Rotation,
neutral.
where is it?
Yeah, I'm still not sure where Malbs is. He needs some help, and at this point, with the CT smoke up, you're playing retake or you're saving.
Yeah, but no kit.
Can't really play retake without a kit. Never mind a man disadvantage.
So they give it a look now. Snacks might want to see if he can find an upgrade. The others are best off saving. And, well, Snacks is going to hold on to this as well. So just maneuvering with great awareness there, 3D Max. A very good finish, and all it came down to was an opening trade and then a 4v4.
And what felt like quite a, you know, non-issue of an opening frag. You get your kill, die to the molly, 4v4. But yeah, space and maneuvering, the key words there. And at this point, you know, keep your fam ass Snacks, they say.
Yeah, this is not the start G2 were looking for. Not even really being able to contend. And that's one of the things with Ancient for the CTs, because we know just how much you can scrap, right? How much you can really, if you want, lock horns for the map control early. That's where a team like G2 can flourish. But at the same time, because 3D Max like to get down in the mud and they do momentum-based calling, if you do the full mid press and the full B lane press and they do like an A rush, you feel really silly. You're like, oh, well, we didn't even consider that as an option.
Right.
Or even if you did, you have to retake into a tough site. So 3 rifles saved, upgrades for Nico and Hunter. G2 can make a dangerous round out of this. It's all about the individuals with G2.
Jump up mollied and extinguish. Malbs firing off some shots. He's going to fight this. Good work from Malbs. Posts an opening. No response from Gravity. He's actually dropped in. Modesty! Oh, wasn't prepared for him. Gravity takes his sweet time. And a messy one here for 3D Max. Hunter has provided with the 5-7. Jocko with no bullets charges into his demise. Rifle upgrades are plenty. Everyone winning. Triple kill for Malbs.
Yeah, beautiful stuff there. And that's exactly what we're talking about, the individuals, and straight into the fight. Right, all right, well, we're not going to sit back. We're not going to play any of these silly games where they get to maneuver across the map and we gamble stack. Let's brawl. Let's fight. Let's take it to them, and G2 able to secure their first. And this is a map that Malbs loves. He's made no secret of that, especially on the T side. You start to get him activated with the mid control. But very good work as this little skirmish just continued from all fronts, didn't it?
Yeah, I can't help but feel that Gravity late onto Monancy did result in Lucky going down. It's a nice idea, though, dropping off when he knew Malbs was up on the ledge. It's a aggressive B start. And, oh no, Monancy's missed his shot. Covered up by Nico, so Jocko, the only man that made it up the ramp, has been repelled.
Again, an early rotation from G2 over towards this B site under pressure. Multiple bodies to peer in through cave. Smoke's faded now.
Yeah, they block ramp and focus their attention on this cave fight. Nico backing himself on a real tight gap.
Yeah, tough one. It could be against that Galil, though, so pretty equal duel in that regard. Gravity with a boatload of util. Do they search?
He's in front of Nico.
Don't know how I feel about this, Monasy.
Yeah. He just basically said, I got this. Smoke faded. Nico spotted.
This is awkward.
Uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. Modesty hits his shot but goes down. Nico just forced back to play retake with Hunter, and they both have low HP. Oh, nice find on the smoke spam. Nico takes down Lucky. He's keeping it competitive. Smoke won't last forever, so Malbs and Nico, these two rifling titans, trying to retake the site against Exercise and Maka.
They're taking the fight to them. Look at this. They're both in the smoke.
Oh, Nico knows what's up. Malbs will finish it. Experience perhaps from Nico as well. I suspect the crowd may have been audible to Nico. I don't know, but he immediately starts to unload his mag upon the excitement growing.
Yeah, that was a bit of an awkward one there. And I'm not talking about the finish to the round. I'm talking about this weird Monasy getting in front of Nico situation. And if you're looking at the radar, you can see like Nico's thinking himself, Ilya, what are you doing, bud?
I mean, I devil's advocate. Can't help but feel that the fight that he was looking for on cave is better suited to an AWP.
Oh, I agree, but at the same time, just like how that overlaps, it makes things feel really awkward. if they lost that round, I wouldn't have been surprised to see G2 take a timeout and Nico just kind of slap a bit of sense into people, because you can't be making those type of moves that can really cost you. Double mid molly, trying to play ahead. Maka, are you in? Are you out? Well, either way, he's going to shake it all about.
Yeah,
Still burning.
Gone across.
Walked into their own heaven molly for a second.
Mid control, huge, and it's a cave fight. Again, they test Nico. m0NESY down, Orb lost, low HP, Nico opts for. m0NESY's lost AWP. Malbs blocks Donut. Exercise this A main lurker. Gonna have a head-on collision with Malbs if he tries to play for A main control. So here we go. They park in mid. This is an interesting decision from 3D Max.
Yeah.
What's the thought process?
Well, a lot of teams like to do mid re-clears, right? Play 2 through Donut, 2 through Red to get the space back that you've lost, and maybe having both of these players in the little cubby and middle angles that they might not be expecting. They're not going to get what they're looking for, right? This is where Counter-Strike, the push-pull, you have the same type of thing on Nuke. You lose yard control, you expect the lobby space taken. We saw Liquid versus Na'Vi the other day. They were kind of this half-in, half-out stance, which did work in their favor. Right now, the bomb down, and when we've seen ourselves in a 4v4 before with plenty of time on the clock, the maneuvers from 3D Max have been great. Will it happen again? Bomb needs to be picked up elbow. They've left Nico with the AWP on the B site. It looks like G2 have gambled correctly this time round.
Hunter, dual smoke defense. No, they have to push through that. They are in trouble. They are in trouble. Flash push. Hunter turns it, breaking the smoke. He's not visible. Lucky should be walking through, not ready. Multi-kill on the menu. Hunter sprays them down. And Maka the last to fall. A triple kill in defense. Hunter, he rotates. He's in the right place and picks up the third. For G2, as well as his 3 frags in the round. Loved the adaptation there, and I have a suspicion that 3D Max, by seeing that he killed m0NESY, presume that Nico's going to play a passive back B, but he's got the AWP on the angle, and they rotate with conviction that Nico can hold, or at least get the info safely.
But that's 2 scenarios now where G2 have been in a 4v4 and they've gamble stacked aside. One time right, one time wrong. And this one being the most important because it will break the finances of 3D Max. And speaking of 3D Max, we'll see Wozink on the mic with a tactical timeout just to discuss their options. Now you can see with the heads-up display here, right-hand side of the screen, everybody operating about that 2.5K mark. So as far as the investments are concerned, they will need to keep it relatively light. They can definitely upgrade in with some U2 and pistols, but with 2,900 into the next, you need to make sure you get enough for the AKs. So this one can still be a threatening moment. We do see 5 sets of head armor. Pairs of head armor are not a thing. We've covered that before. On the CT side.
Okay, interesting. m0NESY gets his first test on A. Passes with flying colors, exercise down empty-handed. Malbs ready to receive, but they have gotten across. Red room's the gap.
Needs to be considered by Hunter.
Yeah, they are going to adjust to it.
But how aware of you of the timing?
So very ready. So very ready. Well handled by Nico with the A4.
Well, we know this is going to be his quote-unquote last dance for G2. Be the final kill for Malbs. Maybe the last opportunity he will have in his career to potentially win a major with his cousin of Hunter. This chapter is coming to its close.
It's a now or never type situation.
And one of the things to G2's credit is with this change impending, it's not, oh, well, you know, who cares? The roster's going to be different. It's, no, this is the team of right now. We can win this major. The amount of trophies that they've won this year, considering the circumstances, is just a testament to the firepower. The desk was discussing, obviously, the game planning, Taz and Snacks. I think it's tough because they've got these wild horses that are just absolutely specimens at the game, and it's a tough balance, right? Do we want to control them, right? And how do we, as wow, we open up the next round to play with a nade dunk, gravity down, no aggression for the youngster.
It's always tough as well when you're in that rematch, same map, same team.
Oh, you know, G2 would have watched that back and gone, all right, this ain't happening again.
Yeah, if I did this, if I did that, they can't do that. Like holding all close on Cave, and nice trade. Oh!
Jocko's sharp,
How's he done that? Instant second. Maybe Snacks gets overlooked. He's playing on the edge of this ramp smoke. It will fade. This position will not last forever. It's if Jocko overplays his hand too soon, too early. Jocko has pushed out. Okay, triple kill for Jocko. We could have a quad kill here. Oh, Jocko! That quad kill shutdown of G2.
He is sharp. We saw him win a massive clutch yesterday on Vertigo, flicking that AK left, right, and center.
Dude's got the aim, and he backs it up. Great decision making around that as well, having just Hunter left in a 1 versus 3 that seems unwinnable. He doesn't look like he's going to attempt it with no kit and no teammates.
Well, if you want me to be a bit of a Jobsworth here, I can question something. What's Mr. Monacy going for a swing when he has the cover of Nico for? Gets the first kill. That setup, he should tuck. It's Nico's turn to take contact next. Monacy trying to do a little bit too much, steps out, trade's not there from Nico, and the kills keep coming.
I presume Monacy was one of your wild horses in that analogy.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. He has, from, you know, analysts and commentators alike, been considered a little more domesticated in this tournament.
Hey, look, you need to be able to reel them in a little bit, right? But this is what I'm talking about. So he gets the kill.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, clean. So clean. A pleasure to watch Jocko in this form. And Gravity got a front row seat to that whole show.
Yeah. All right, well, they still can buy.
3 mid.
Look at how many A4s. I love to see it.
Oh, no. Mouse. Monacy. It's just a naughty list. Oh, Jocko destroys them once more. And back-to-back rounds, he is the difference maker.
Oh, this one will break the bank.
Bruv.
Sax has got them something, but it doesn't feel like enough to work with to get back into this round. If Nico could find his kill on Cave.
But, I mean, this is, you know, we talk about tactics in the whole Counter-Strike. It's so... They did just say, let's go kill the mid, and they killed the mid. There's layers. Come on. Peel back the onion for me.
Yeah, okay. Well, they're giving themselves all the advantages they possibly can to be able to take those duels, right? Now, if we catch it back on the replay, we can try and identify if any of that utility missed. But you can see that there was harass utility going both ways. Malbs was very blind towards the Tetris box, but they had full vision. So this is where we have to check back. Did the elbow smoke miss? Was it meant to be double mollies and they extinguished? Right, those details right there are the ones that change the tune of a round like this one.
Because when when a professional Counter-Strike team starts 3 mid and 2 Ts can just walk in and get 3 headshots, it's a sign that either your aim is supreme or there was a misplay from the CT side.
Well, the devs touched on it, right? They were talking about the flashes from Exercise and Maka, I believe, and how that facilitates a lot of these fights for the other individuals. Right. And right there, Malbs was completely blind. So we should catch back some of this action on the replay. With those saved guns, it might be able to justify another G2 buy, and they will take a tactical timeout to have that chat.
Well, I just took a look at enemies flashed, and Maka is already in the double digits. Head and shoulders above everyone else. Maka and Exercise combined have 20 enemies flashed. The rest of the server...
He's doing some quick
14.
maths. Okay. He's doing some slow maths.
Come on,
He's doing some maths.
It's not my strong suit, I'll tell you that much.
All right, well, this little 30 seconds of respite for G2 to discuss how they're going to march forward. The lead has been taken here by 3D Max. They have been able to piece together this purchase. There's an M4 on the ground for Monacy to pick up, so all good in the hood. But if you just keep your eyes, we'll see what type of opening that 3D Max go for, and I can maybe draw some attention to it. So take a look at the late pieces leaving spawn,
Maka
right?
and Exercise.
Exactly. So that's the job of the more supportive elements and the AWPer, right? They just sit back and they're just lobbing out flashes. And you can see how they're tiered. Look at all of that.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's some answers. And oh my God. Oh, he had a little gap, a little test. Nico's so wise to the trick. Catches Gravity walking up ramp contact. After all that mid space is taken, he doesn't lose focus of his responsibilities on ramp.
Even though they're in a number disadvantage, Lucky continues to apply a bit of pressure, and they've done this same move. They have the full mid control, so this is super premeditated. They've both parked themselves in the little pocket. He's done a mid to A split smoke just to make sure that, hey, they really know just how much space has been taken. Hunter's tried to negate that with one of his own. But I'm glad we got to highlight there. Thank you very much from the ops team for showing all of those flashes just to show how much 3D Max are dumping to fight for this space. And they'll reapply. Hunter playing behind it. We'll hear it land. Oh, and he's going to get ahead of it. So Hunter is ahead of the potential split right now.
I like his decision making here. He is being tested. And he gets his headshot. Nice one. Traded by Jocko, though. Maka now spotted, bomb on his back. They know exactly what the attempt is here. Nico starts to activate. Oh, Maka still gets Monacy. How's he done that? Malv doesn't finish him off. Now Malv's worried about Donut, understandably so. Jocko is running through the smoke. Ooh, thinks twice about it. No resistance. Now Nico arrives, tends to the problem. And Maka's AWP trying to save it through to the next round of play. They gave themselves a chance to get back into it. Hunter, however, getting that frag. Proactively blocking, playing ahead.
Oh, are they going to hunt?
Looks like Nico wants it.
He has the most residual cash, but he might have to drop a gun into the next round. So, yeah, thinks better of overstepping the mark. And with the scoreline tied up 5-5, we can discuss what the bar should be. I think you would, if a 6-6, right, it's pretty decent for H for both sides. 7-5, probably towards the CT is where I would be leaning a little bit more. So G2 going to need 2 consecutive going into the halftime break. And 3D Max, once again on the back foot, will take a timeout once more, knowing that they still can change the dialogue of this half and walk into the 1-minute break with a 2-round advantage. Saved AWP, AK upgrades, Exercise can buy an AK, Jocko can get out a Galil. Wow, I imagine I would drop him an AK with how sharp he has been so far. 13 for 6, deleting heads. Boys, hook him up. Someone.
He's going to be left with a Galil.
All right, well, why not? Let's see if he can be just as sharp.
Respect your elders, Gravity.
Yeah, hey?
Different flavor to this one. They are
just
going to
a
try and
red
test
smoke.
it. So Snacks and Nico, a 2-man B start, might have a lot of work to do.
Well, I think...
No, oh, very little lane damage.
They missed the Heaven Molly as well.
Wait, they're gonna... No. What's the plan?
Boosting?
They're boosting in cave? Oh, audible. Risky. Nico heard that, and he's trying to piece together the response. Oh, Snacks finds Maka in the head-to-head. It's an impressive frag to find to open you up. Now a flash for Hunter to take a glance. Now a nade on his face. Nice structure for their B defense. Protocols in place. Now you block ramp. Lucky and Jocko get mid, but they don't have that deeper line. Malbs is still controlling that red cross. Oh, wow.
Yeah, just getting peeled apart now,
Nice
one
shot.
by one. As they're limping across the map, the G2 individuals are putting their aim on display. A grouped finish, a 3v5. A bit of magic for the French required for this one.
Re-clearing. Nico could be peeking into the cave side here. Just plays this powerful angle. Molotov will force him back, though. Gravity gets into the site. Bomb to be planted. Lucky forced into the side by the ram smoke.
They faked the plant.
3 players here. Gravity has to play this perfectly. They're all going long side. Gravity starts to activate. Sure, Exercise draws attention. Maybe this flank could be huge. Malb's down on the rotate. They've made it a 3v3. A 2-man discrepancy, no longer a problem. Looking for the taps onto Nico. He's a scary man with the AK, and he does deliver onto another. Now up to Exercise. This triple kill comes down to a 1v1. Flash and swing on an orb. You're crazy. Modesty misses the shot. It's Exercise for the 6th. 3D Max, hold on and turn that 3v5 around.
Oh, I said they need a little bit of magic, but they pieced that together perfectly. And I think G2 think they're up to some crazy, silly games because there was a fake plant on the B bomb site. The mid player and the A player didn't even rotate. I think they're thinking, okay, 3D Max are walking in, they're faking, they're going to rotate away. That's a thing of beauty. But the way that they got into the site, the double mollies, the deep one short, long, it pushes Nico off the line. That is a massive round for 3D Max to win. And look at the buy for G2. Final round of the first half. It's in the bin.
Now aggressive. Look at this pace change. Hunter just suddenly gets flattened, knowing the U2 will be weak in mid. He's already in red room. 1 minute 40 with a Mac 10. This is acceleration and destruction. Double kill takes down Snacks. Now Nico's worried about everything. Okay, great. So he's behind me. They're in front of me. There are 3 ways they can access me. Hang on. Great shot. Deagle finds Gravity, puts him down. Smoke to block the cage, which is where they're coming. It's up to Jocko, and oof. Nico can't hit the second. Malbs his hip spotted. Modesty trying to flash him in.
Yeah, Modesty's form, some of these missed shots might come under scrutiny yet again. We know that the people at home are out for blood.
Well, it's crazy that
I expect him to hit that 1v1 or quick scope.
While partially flash, swinging around,
flat in the
pushing him
open
under pressure.
against a rifle, but I have that expectation.
Yeah.
I guess that speaks volumes about the bar set for him as an individual.
And then that reinforces maybe a little bit of what G2 are missing at the moment. Malbs, 1v3 situation, no kit, no time, no chance. 7 confirmed for 3D Max. And what a great half. Pissed around with the conversions. There was a bit of a patch where G2 worked into things. But 3D Max should be proud of that. And no lack of ideas with this team. They've always got something up their sleeve. Covered off a lot of their matches throughout this run. I always am impressed to see what they're running.
I also want to highlight that Lucky has only 4 frags in that half.
Yeah, well, it's Jocko's life game now.
It's his turn. It's his turn, I suppose.
Imagine that. Just every game, someone else decides they're just going to drop bombs, and right now they are laying down G2.
Exercise has 7 in the half, 4 of which were that insane B sequence. So
yeah.
Everyone's having their moments. I'm going to check in on the flash totals.
But think about there's 2 rounds that stand out for me. The 3v5 on B, and then the Jocko round through K.
Yeah.
Where honestly got the opening kill on the AWP. Jocko killed 4 players. He just went, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead, and you're dead. Thank you for coming. My AK shoots perfect.
This round is mine.
Like, it was literally just, like, obviously more goes into it, but the shooting, that's the highlight. That's what we're here for.
Of course. Absolutely.
G2, you need a pistol.
Yeah, this is a real compulsory pistol. Best of 1 against the team that secured their 3-0 into the elimination stage against you.
Can we live in a world where, imagine G2 lose this and then it's Na'Vi versus G2 for elimination?
Is that a world?
Now, I don't know if that's a world, but...
Let's not even think about that.
Imagine if it... Oh, it's a world, actually.
Oh, Chad,
it's actually a world. Oh.
We live in?
Oh, it's a world we live in.
Let's see.
It is a world we live in.
An important pistol. A very important pistol with all of that said. As they are walking, contact
Be
A,
fake.
and no one's home. Yeah, Gravity's even rotated off.
Mac is going to say, guys, it's awfully quiet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is shaping up nicely. They don't even have a kit, Chad.
I don't know. They have the...
Oh, hard shots. Hard shots for Lucky. Wow, how's he done that? Gets a clean one onto Malbs. Nico, that late pick.
Oh, Jocko!
Jocko's ready. How's he
Nico, who?
I don't know. He's got them beating the head-to-head. Now it's uncomfortable for G2. This was supposed to be a real comfortable finish to their pistol round. Now, it really hinges off this crossfire. Hunter's working Temple, will work with Snacks, Modesty from CT. They fight into Donut, they spot him out.
Sitting
the defuse. They're sitting the defuse. There's Hunter, good work, gets him off. They're dropping like flies. How has he hit that?
Time though. I just don't think there's time. They got to get out of there. They're not going to be able to defuse. The round's still won. G2 have got it.
Jocko though, incredible aim, incredible form. And 1 kit shy of a successful CT pistol.
Oh dear, G2 fortunate with this one, aren't they? Hunter coming in clutch, knocking him off the bomb. That's a shot and a half. Look at him, he's just peeling them apart 1 by 1. Great shooting.
Oh.
The fact he gets 4 and stays alive. He will be a... Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Those situations shouldn't be coming so close. But we're straight back into action. He got 4 kills and he kept his Kevlar. He can buy an M4. So there's some tidy upgrades here. If he keeps shooting like that,
I'm not
get out of the way, G2.
Yeah. He starts B and they start A. Exercise. You're going to be this early warning system. They're lining up for what I assume is going to be the Molotov towards the tree.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's a warning. Oh, never mind. He does take a little bit of an overextension.
Backer up next. Smoked off in Donut for now. Trying to play ahead on his own.
Now, it's not blind. Good team play. Snacks sets him up for that advance, and now just save the M4 if you can. Okay. Risky business. Well played by G2. Good start as well. You know, start conditioning this A side. We've seen how that can work for teams. When you come in with the onto the T side, you can start abusing the A side, forcing teams to acknowledge the gap, especially if they have a a penchant for starting 3-2. Playing A side open. In this case, it was Exercise, just a little bit of an overstep.
It's one of those things, right? If you are up against a force, it does get a little bit more prickly because of the type of weapons that they can have. But at the same time, it is a roll of the dice for how the CTs have their setup. It makes sense, though. You think, okay, if we take rifles towards A and we get to take more long-range duels on the T side, it feels like it should favor us, right? But you've seen it go wrong plenty of goddamn times. Think about yesterday with FaZe versus Wildcard.
And I'll tell you, one of the main ways it goes wrong is if you don't clear tree. Molotov did see to that, so nice kind of logically driven second round conversion.
against the force buy, and yeah, this one is probably going to be a bit of a walk in the park for G2 to take the lead.
See, 3D Max going for a 5-man nade stack. We saw that yesterday. MIBR tried it against the Frenchman. Was on Vertigo towards the B site.
Maybe they liked it.
Yeah, thought, hey, we'll give that one a go of our own. They're going to get deep elbow HEs in, but nobody's home, as G2 will be bearing down on the A site once more. You could just run the exact same execute, to be completely honest with you, and why the hell not? I don't have a single qualm with this. Very diligent.
Yeah, everything considered. And pushing out that donut smoke into mouths, loving back 10. Sprays them down, farms up some cash. USP's nothing they could do. Not a single point of damage dealt. And Maka changes that, but still not a casualty for G2.
Well, both teams getting off to 3-0 starts with pistol and conversion on their T sides. Let's see if 3D Max can follow in the footsteps of G2 and buck the trend with the first rifle round.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see if Jocko can keep this up.
Get him an AK.
No one else on his team has reached 10. He's about to reach 20.
He's doing an Insani from yesterday.
He is. Yeah, I mean, truly, this something in the water at the major. These players having these incredible individual performances.
They're faking B presence right now, G2. They've just sent Nico over there on his lonesome. He's done the ramp molly, they've done the cave smoke, they've done standard mid util. So right now this feels like a default. They have the mid control from Malbs. He has the supporting Hunter just behind. I thought maybe, just maybe, they would press the issue. Clear of the smoke and the kill. Well done from Jocko again.
Delivers time after time. That's his 20th. An opening kill into the first gun round. Set for success. I can see a ramp reaggress perhaps upon the fade. Nico holding.
But think about this round. The idea from G2 was to get Malbs across to red. With Hunter or not, who knows? They're pushing ramp.
Oh.
He's down.
Nico down.
Picking them apart now one by one.
Be clear. Gravity could overextend this, or he catches the timing instead. Catches Snacks looking. Out elbow. Flash for his reaggress. Hunter hears this. They're coming for him as well. Smoke donut won't last forever. Oh, what a transfer! Hunter gets 2. Nearly has his crosshair on the 3rd as well. Jocko puts him down. Bomb mid. Monacy trying to flank into Maka, but he's aware.
Heard that.
Monacy knows there's 2 players around this donut position. Jocko walks into him. Very threatening round.
Great shooting from Hunter there. It's a tidy little double, wasn't it? But just to talk through that round again, you make it look standard from G2. Nico has the responsibility of dealing with the B lane pushes from either cave or towards the ramp at the early, right as they're starting the default. They get the mid control they were looking for. They're trying to get Malbs and or Hunter across to red. But then Malbs doesn't make it. The round peters out and 3D Max become jarring. Not only do they get the opening kill, but they stay active. They keep pushing the issue and isolating Jules. So really good job from the Frenchman to secure the first rifle round. Now with those 2 rounds for G2, with the A executes being pretty goddamn clean, they can get the Monacy AWP into his hands. Now it's about time we see him make a bit of a difference in this one.
It's about time, isn't it?
3rd tactical timeout for 3D Max at this point of the game.
That is unusual.
Maybe the coach had something he didn't like.
Or a reminder of like what he expects G2 to pivot into. We'll find out.
Time to lock in.
Here we go.
It can be tough to set the AWP up on the T side, especially in the early stages. So I imagine we'll see Monacy throwing util. There you go. Cave smoke for him. And they're just going to try A. So same thing, feigning a default round. How quick can 3D Max determine no mid pressure, no B lane pressure, and hightail it over to block A? That's the question.
Yeah, they start 3B, and Maka got a lot of work to do here. Does he have util to block? Just the Molotov. Oh, now or never. They're going to be ahead of this. No, think twice. They think twice. That would have been a death sentence for Snacks. A nice, well-placed, well-timed Molotov, but Monacy's all ready for this reclear. Maka just on the corner. Ooh, Snacks has opened up the site. Jocko good for 1. Needs to test by Malbs, but the flashes are too good. Nico and Hunter just throwing, chaining flashbangs into the A site. Util good, Temple open, but held.
Do you go for this? I feel like you need a save if you're 3D Max. This is tough to justify the retake.
Yeah. I don't see a world you get back into this apart from an overextension. You can see Exercise just hangs around for a second. But not going to be given.
I was about to say, actually, G2 in some of these rounds could find themselves overextending, right? We have seen some struggles. Look at the Na'Vi series versus Spirit, and look at the amount of times Na'Vi found themselves in the bomb site in like 3v3 or even number advantage scenarios, and they still managed to fumble it somehow. So,
I mean,
it's doable for the best teams.
Yeah, if you did overcommit through that Molotov, it's a different round. The night you could see 3 players were about to. The Heichi arrived. Had there been a smoke on top of that, you'd have to fully, scrap the call. There wasn't.
Very important entry from Snacks, though, really, right? Because on the way, if he goes down, then traded, okay. Then we go back and forth a bit more. It might entice them into an equal number retake on that A site. So really good work from Snacks and Malbs as the entry pack on that one, even though it was stop-start.
I felt like Maka's position as well was, likely to be overlooked, and he'd be worth 1. So Snacks did a very good job taking him down cleanly.
But with the saves, back in the, every round heading towards A.
Okay, Exercise, how are you handling it this time? You know what their preferences have been.
That's an early block. Well, again, no B pressure, no steps, no spam, nothing. No B, no mid, the same scenario, right? It's very, very quiet. I suppose at that point the question is, do they have the audacity to do it again? And the desk even spoke about this, rounds where G2 will just call the same round after round after round. And look how light the util is right now.
That's all of us is full belt.
We got, what, 2 flashes of HE and a smoke.
Oh, it's feeling similar, it's feeling familiar. Jocko, off you got. This could be well timed. They're coming in. Anti-flash still delivers. Exercise with a white screen. Now it's up to Jocko. He stabilizes, gets a dink onto Snacks. A 3v3. This one's workable. Force forward. Missed shot from Monacy. Oh my God. Maka gets Nico. Monacy brought to 29. Low. Yeah, this is winnable.
Look at the flank from Gravity. It might go completely overlooked. The MP9 can mop them up, and there's a kit on Lucky. They can win this.
Monacy's attention drawn to the fading donut smoke. Lucky bides his time. Let's Gravity play. Smoke slowly fading. Gravity pushing. Spotted. Missed! Monacy can't hit a shot. Now delivers onto Gravity. The double up in Temple, though, it's still susceptible. If Monacy goes down, saves the day with 5 HP to spare.
As the old adage goes, better late than never. Misses a couple of sitters, but closes it down to secure the 10th. And 3D Max are scratching their heads. The money, that's going to be the conversation. This one, the A defense, considering the circumstances, did a pretty good job. Right, damage and kills. Maka also finding impact, but Monacy makes the statement, secures them the 10th, first real round of impact from the kid. Partial buy, 3D Max, the French back in with something. Still can scrap for this, don't count him out. Might be time for a Maka moment.
Yeah, it's been quiet for him.
Look at it. Are you really going A again?
This time, 3D Max have.
Yeah, we believe you.
Yeah, we're not buying it. What's that?
Shadow?
Shooting ghosts. This feels a bit awkward now. Hang on.
Do you back off from it or from G2? Like,
that's the question. They could have pushed elbow at this point. Nico's actually holding that. They're flashing in. Oh, Monacy blind. Monacy blind. Brought low. Hunter prevents the damage from getting out of control.
He's so lucky to be alive.
Yeah, I mean, one of those is a headshot. He's a dead man.
Well, the Molly.
The Molly dismounted. They're just going to wait for the fights to come to them after that double.
He's got 3 on the 5-7. Watch this.
Shooting everything. Nades. They know there's 2 here. Snacks handles it. Oh, it's perfect. Hunter.
3 damage on the 5-7.
Brings down Malbs.
That's what I meant.
It hasn't gone very well for 3D Max's half buy.
Could you imagine, Alex, if they execute again?
Yes, actually, I can. I can imagine. I can.
Me too.
It's funny because that's exactly what Maui and Gus were talking about.
Exactly. Hey, if it works.
Well, yeah. In my mind, when they were discussing it, they were talking about them doing it, and it fails 3 times.
Yeah.
They do it or call it a 4. This, however, this makes more sense.
This is like the segment on ESPN. Key to success. It's like the G2.
If it ain't broke,
yeah,
don't fix it.
Round after round after round. Maybe they've just gone, hey boys, we're going to run this until it doesn't work.
Yeah, but then I can't help but feel for 3D Max that you know the second you start 3A or 2A, you're going to get a balls to the wall
It's just a B rush, straight up. Extinguish the molly.
Extinguish the molly.
Spawn-based smokes. They're in the side. They've left their rifles. They've all got Mac 10.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're in a really tough spot right now. I like the aggressive attempt. Monacy should be dead, but they should have won the round anyway, G2, and Snags getting an important one onto Gravity there. Little drive-by from Hunter into his teammate's head.
Do it again.
They wouldn't.
Boo.
They won't.
Wait. No.
The bomb's going A. Side. Okay, early info. This will at least get you an early bit of info onto Nico and Snags. Not ready for that. Ooh, Nico gonna get a late trade maybe. Not ready for it. Hiding in the smoke. Jocko, has he considered this? No, he hasn't. Nico gets cut down. Right click down to 20 HP. Gravity. Ooh, deleted. Good shot from Nico. Lucky's there as well. Mid-rounding now. Flash for his swing. Does connect with Lucky. He's got great util to force the fight here, Nico.
Oh, Lucky's ahead of it.
Yeah, Wilco's him down. He gets more than he was worth. Oh, Monacy. Great find. Flushes Lucky out with the incendiary.
Yeah, knew with the timing that he couldn't rotate away. So well handled the situation there, G2. And this one's for 12, 3D Max. This game has gotten away from you and damn fast.
I mean, yeah, Nico has handled that one with a degree of poise we have grown to expect from him.
They're going to traverse back over towards the A site.
Of course they are.
The Conga line, led by Hunter. Diffuse kit here, highlighted by our Obs team as the worst case requirement. Now for 3D Max, you are in the wrong position. You're not investigating further, so the bomb will be going down. G2 will be able to fortify into post-plant positions. Still a little bit worried about where these members may find themselves. There's the first tell. Flash, flash. Okay, we're in the wrong place. Now we need to rotate over. Or do we save?
What a horrible position to be put in.
Yeah, you see the body language there on the cam. Everybody kind of just sitting a little bit more back in realization. I think it's such a tough retake to go for. You can't really justify it because not only were you at the longest rotation point away, you have to clear literally everything. Where could they be? Oh, anywhere? So hold on to these short. The loss bonus is the best thing you've got going for you right now if you're a 3D Max fan. You're going to get 3,500 into this next round of play. Exercise and Maka will be able to drop rifles, and Lucky should be able to buy himself. It's been an outstanding showing from Jocko. Great aim, 24 kills, 115 ADR at this point, but G2 have been able to grind this one.
He's just missing that like second and third prom.
That's the thing though, with what we've discussed, you know, you've mentioned Lucky, there's been games where Mac has popped off, right? This is the thing, the individuals can do it, but the key to success is having more players with output at any given time. You can't just rely on a one-man army.
Easy to be critical from my casting chair, but there felt like Gravity after hitting that bullet onto Nico was shy to commit to the spam. I understand you're playing against someone that could punish an overcommitment, but could have been a different round had Nico gone down cleanly. Still gets another on that, and they're coming back. They're coming back to A for the final blow.
Yeah, I love it. It feels disrespectful in a way, but they make the steps. They hit the brakes. Well, they're showing everybody how well drilled this A execute is.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued about the flashes and how they're layering them, because it's Nico and Hunter that are getting constant flash assists.
There's also that HE that they're using just out of main as well, yeah. Whether or not that's for a visibility factor or not. But 2 players to defend this on the A side. 3D Max, give it all you got.
Exercise sticks around on the boost, hoping to be overlooked. Maka, finds a great angle onto Monacy. Now Exercise blind, but still delivers one. Up to Maka, can't get it done. Hunter finds the headshot. Jocko tends to temple.
They can cancel.
Nico is late mid. 50 seconds. They're
boosting. They're boosting. Oh, he caught perfect timing on the jump up. Now knows where two of them are spotted the bomb. And Jocko still eliminates Hunter, just takes the Angel. Nico into Donut. Snack's leaving with the bomb. Nico keeps them grounded. Puts Lucky down. Now he can tend to the rotate. This is nice calling.
He's making it look like they're going B. Making it look like he's cutting off the rotation, so they will try and chase Nico. And Snacks can walk into an open site.
Jocko, how ready is your crosshair? How ready is your crosshair? Not ready enough, but he misses his shots, does Nico?
They're going to run to B. Because of the way that Nico played that, they B.
And Snacks can have a clutch. Another Snacks clutch up on the menu. Is it possible? Positions himself in the donut position. Jocko and Gravity clearing through. Gravity has to trade this. Gravity has to trade this. They nearly line up for it.
Bullets.
He hasn't got the bullets for this. There's no way. He'd have to hit 2 1-taps to hit the bullets. Okay, onto the pistol. Playing games. Playing wicked games with this young gun Gravity. He's teasing him. He's taunting him. He's taking this map without any single bullet fired. Snacks running around the donut. Taunting Gravity. There's just no time. Oh, way for that one to slip away as Snacks adds another clutch to his tally. 13-8, it's G2's game.
Snacks with the tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Maui, I want to get into all of this, but first I actually wrote, I wanted to be a bit more creative on the disc. So I wrote a love letter to G2. It goes, roses are red, violets are blue. I know you like A, but there's B too.
Oh my God. If anybody in any comment section after this game says because of that last round that Snacks was running circles around 3D Max, I will find you, I will hunt you down, and I will downvote your comment and report it, okay? That was how for G2 to win this game while A-execing 4 rounds, 3 of which were in a row. That is absurd, Dust. That is everything that 3D Max stood for. The tactical flashing, the space taking, the clutching, the way they were able to play off of each other. It is spat on in the face by a Snacks who called the same strategy 4 times on T side. The exact same strat.
Dude, Snacks is that asshole who just throws rock like 5 times in a freaking row, and you're just like, dude, please! Like, no one does that. No one throws quintuple rock. But you know who runs A execs every single freaking round? G2 does. But you know what? It actually works, and here's why it works. It's because, you know, this is gonna be self-serving, by the way, so I'm gonna lose a lot of fans here, but in StarCraft, there's this concept where you get a unit composition that's so good that you can literally just hit the A button, which is attack, and then you click on the thing, and you just let your army go forward. And that's what G2 can do. When you have Nico, Muncie, and Mouths, you can literally just trebuchet them into a site with basic utility, and you can do it over and over and over and over again, like Marshawn Lynch would say, and you just hit them in the face over and over again, and you just win. It's mind-boggling, but it happens.
I'm picking up a little bit of frustration.
Yeah,
why does this frustrate you so much?
Because it doesn't stand for what we know and love when it comes to tactical.
We love Counter-Strike, that's why.
Because we like Counter-Strike for not being Call of Duty. And the problem is that Snacks just has the best Call of Duty players on his team right now. And so it doesn't matter what the strategy is, the execution will always work. It's why we are so afraid of G2 in many ways. This team embodies everything about the mechanical aspect of Counter-Strike. The fact that Nico is such a playmaker, that Mobs can be a playmaker, that Modesty is going to hit a shot.
Don't you dare get Stats credit for this round. Not one of you. Do not do it.
That one highlight right there is just so despicable, man. But it's also, I'm not going to lie, it is kind of why you have to love G2 also. They simplify CS into its most core components, that shooting the other team in the head will net you round victories. I think the 3D Max, though, need to be a blueprint for teams in the future for how to stick it to G2. Unfortunately, they couldn't get the job done once they switched to the defense.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've been hating on G2 a lot, but it's why we love them at the same time. They just do have so much talent. They always have a puncher's chance. Even when they seem behind tactically, they can still just fight their way through it because they had such great fragging capability. But I have to give props where props is due for 3D Max. Like, they went behind in the first half on that game, wound up winning 4 of the last 5 T rounds of the first half off of Joko over all people, not normally the guy for them. Like usually of the two entry fraggers, Gravity's usually the more successful one. Maka and Lucky are typically their more consistent fraggers just overall. But that dude was just sending it, obviously with good flash support, but he was making big plays. He had 2 multi-frag rounds in a row that really kind of reeled the game back in and made it close. But when we flipped sides, they simply, even knowing it was A again, and again and again, and even though they stacked it,
Nice.